What a Tuesday. Let's get set up. Gotta get a phone. There we go. That should let me see chat. Hello. Hello, viewer. All good. Subtitles on. Copyrighted. In the intro, yes, I would like to start a new game. And for those who've never seen this game before, welcome.
This is gonna be weirder
to Control.
Usual. Can't be helped. You called me, so here I am. I know I shut you out sometimes. I'm always glad to hear from you. It's just that I get my hopes up. So many times it's led to nothing. I found nothing. It's like we live in a room and there's a poster on the wall. We stare at it and we think that's the whole world. The room and the poster. The picture's something nice. A landscape. A famous person. Like in that movie.
Though if you're talking about a certain maze, that's gonna be a while. That's gonna be a few sessions in.
And the picture, it's different for each of us. It can be beautiful or terrible, but we're all transfixed. But it's all a lie. Something to distract us from the truth. They're lying to us. We're lying to ourselves. The room's not the world. The world is much bigger and much stranger. Hidden behind that poster that leads to the real world. We all feel safe in that room. But sometimes something crawls out from behind the poster. And the ones that see it happen freak out and try to forget what they saw. I'm here. Why did you bring me here?
And here we are, in the Federal Bureau of Control.
Anyone
and now
here?
we're literally in control. And we can't leave the building. But out there is New York City? I believe the building is in New York. I might be wrong and this might be DC. We have a picture of a man looking at a memorial wall. What we got? Oh, by the way, for anybody who doesn't know, get ready for a game that is part game, part me reading basically SCP Foundation wiki stuff. But I won't spoil that too much. Or it's otherwise, I have beaten this once, back around when it came out. I haven't touched it since. So this will also be equal parts me gushing about everything they did right and things that could have been done better. Yeah, so I guess let's get to it. Let's, metal detectors for squares. But we do have a note here. Reminder, certain objects are not allowed inside the Bureau. Recent incidents have necessitated an issued reminder of prohibited materials. No weapons. No pagers. No laptops. No smartphones. No smartwatches. No smart gaming devices. You know what? Nothing smart, and no number 2 pencils. Also, anything considered iconic representations of an archetypical concept, such as rubber ducks or ketchup bottles. All material under Bureau investigation is to be brought in through the private entrances. If you see any lobby personnel in breach of this, snitch. Fun. Nice little security room. Internal lockdown in effect. Multiple containment... I'm sure this is fine. Multiple buildings, shift cited. Head of research override. HRA protocol activated. I know what all this means, but I'm going to pretend I don't. Also, nice little touch for those who've played the game before. I just noticed it is Black Pyramid brand cigarettes. Nifty. So, without anything, because I'll tell you the basics that you need to know for this game. We are playing as Jessie Faden. She has come here to the Federal Bureau of Control, a government organization, for some reason, which I'm sure we will figure out soon enough. But that's who we are, that's why we're here. We just got here. And let's start our adventure. The game does something really cool up ahead that I'm going to gush about that most people,
this seal,
their first time through, might not pick up.
I keep seeing it in my dreams.
We have another document here. So I'm someone who loves reading SCP articles when they're bored, so this game is perfect for that. So staffing surveillance. I wish I had a soundboard I could have Snorpy going. Redacted. Data center initiative construction. Redacted. Minor office equipment janitorial costs. Redacted. Mold removal and HQ livability costs. For cost breakdown, see page 5 for 5-year comparison chart. And we have a wall with some interesting people. Head of Research, Dr. Casper Darling. Fun facts, Mr. Darling here is physically and played by High Pilot, the same voice actor as one Alan Wake. Pilot, welcome to Control. We just started the game. I think you'll love this, and thank you for joining me. We have another portrait here of a mysterious janitor. This is our bureau at work. Okay, keep it up, bud. And, of course, Game Magazine with their cover story. Game about secret agents. Yeah, so Ty, if you didn't know, Casper Darling is literally Alan Wake's voice actor. And then this man right here, Mr. Zachariah Trench, is literally Alan Wake's voice actor. Yeah. Anything in the bathroom? Nope. So. Alright. This is our path. We're set it. Let's go down this hallway. So we're just gonna go down this office corridor.
All these years I've been looking for them, and they were hiding in plain sight.
Delays caused by house shifts do not count towards overtime, whatever that could mean. Yeah, 2 Alan Wakes. So once again, he voices Alan Wake in the Alan Wake games and any other games that Alan Wake might appear in. Let's see. We have a pneumatic tube checklist. Office rules of conduct. Speak in a moderate volume. No personal calls. No food or drink. No photocopier used for personal objects, or the 3D printer, or the bureau stationery. Wear your badge. Don't talk about confidential stuff out loud. And if you finish the coffee pot, make a new one. Pilot, get ready for a lot of me reading things. This game has a lot of fun, like, world building, so we're gonna get our money's worth here. So we've gone in the hallway. Let's explore around these offices a little bit. We have a security order. Attention all redacted. Redacted. A shark in his redacted. Although secure redacted. Permission to redacted. Following basic protocol. Redacted. Shoot to kill. Redacted. Good luck. That's no good. Hey, lurk away. We're happy to have anybody here. We have more confidential reports. We'll round this corner.
Hello?
We have more paintings of Mr. Trench. That looks like that janitor from the painting.
Hey, excuse me.
There you are. You are here about the job. Peter's assistant.
Sure.
You need to go to the interview. Go that way to the elevator.
Thanks. Elevator that way. Got it.
Very good. I'm Ahti, the janitor, by the way. You'll work for me. You can say I sent you. If they don't hire you, they you have no hell of it. There be work for the axe. Take them behind the sauna, you malat.
I've done enough night shift loner jobs to know it makes us come off weird. Ahti the janitor is a friendly face in my book.
Better than somebody with no face at all. Think about it. No face.
But that said, I know what you're thinking. If there's an axe murderer around, that's him.
Okay, so first of all, Ahti just responded to our internal monologue. A lot of people didn't pick up on that one. He literally just responded to our private thoughts. And the second, we'll turn a corner here, and we're at an elevator between a picture of Mr. Darling and a picture of Zachariah Trench, and the bathroom's over there. But we went in this way, and there was a bench here with Game Magazine for the game about secret agents. And so we went this way, and we went to the right? No, there's Ahti. Where do we come from? We go around here, and there's nothing. So if that doesn't set the tone for the game, I don't know what will. Those are two little fun details that most people that I know of never caught on to that. So yeah, the building has literally rearranged already around us for some reason. So let's keep going. So this elevator has literally appeared right where Ahti's portrait was. Let's take it on up, I guess.
The cell and the poster. I was 11 years old the first time I saw behind the poster. They told me I imagined it. I've been trying to pull it down ever since. Will you help?
Yeah, this is why Remedy's games are just the top. Then we have a nice little roll credits, I guess, welcoming us to the game. Courtney Miller, who voices Jesse Faden, excellent job. Just excellent job. And, you know, it's back when this was up for the Game Awards, not this past cycle, but the cycle before, I still stand by the fact that this game was loyally robbed. It was just thoroughly robbed. Uh-oh, So for people who are wondering, a lot of people have asked me, you know, is Control a horror game? And my honest answer is no. It's got some spookums, but not that way. I have not.
You know what's on my mind. My baby brother, Dylan.
Dylan,
17 years since the men of this bureau took him.
So that's why Jessie came here. She's looking for her brother, Dylan. So we are moving on to our interview, I guess. We have a lovely Brokeback Mountain fan art painting. I wish I could quit you. Some sort of alarm, and you know, there's papers knocked over. That should be urgent, but we'll get to that. We have another painting of the director, Zachariah Trench. Would anybody like some pistachios, or a hot and spicy peanuts, or perhaps some protein brand protein? And then a painting of the building we're in, the oldest house. Discovered August 4th, 1964. All the language used in this game. You want fruit gummy? Is there fruit gummy in there? Whoa. I don't know if that's supposed to happen or not. I don't know if that's supposed to happen or if I just did a physics, but we're just gonna leave that machine alone. Check with guard before proceeding. Oh, there's no guard. And we do not have level 1 clearance, so we can't go in there. But there is an alarm going off. Like I said, there's a lockdown in effect, multiple building shifts detected, multiple containment breaches, and the HRA protocol is activated. Let me tell you, very great to be playing a game much more stable than Cyberpunk 2077. Federal Bureau of Control, reminder, drafting any public-facing material. While penning any notifications of death related to the Willow AWE, please adhere to the following guidelines. Words and phrases to use. In service of his/her country. Regret. Proud pride. Will be remembered. Words to avoid. Alaska. Scissors. Blood and bleed. Loss. Apologies and sorry. Yeah, glitches do fit in very well in the world of the game. We already have a weapon mod and a personal mod. I don't know why yet, but apparently we do. We'll keep looking around. Once we get to the actual main gameplay, I don't pretend to be particularly great. But that won't be an issue. The game, outside of one enemy type, which, do as you're told, don't eat the mold. No. Outside of one particular enemy type, who I will hate to the fullest of my capabilities, I think the game is very fair, very balanced. We have more notes. A letter to the Bureau. The executive branch, we can't go there. We have another pneumatic tube system. And more lovely documents. Barbara, I am not to be disturbed. Cancel all my appointments for the day. For the rest of the week, I can't trust them, Barbara. Not a single one. Signed, Trench. So this is the complete edition of the game with all the DLC. That was a bang.
Shit.
Well.
Shit. You want me to pick it up? The murder weapon? Really? Something's outside. Was coming here a mistake?
Something's going on outside. We have these. I know in all reality I should be going for for the gun over there. A body has been discovered. You can see Mr. Trench. Wait a second. Is that Joe Biden? Is that fucking Joe Biden? Is that President-elect? It looks like Joe Biden. We have coffee mugs, reports, a camera, pencil sharpener, and a body. Well, so much for Director Trench. This funky-looking gun.
And there goes the poster.
Objects of power can cause or be results of AWE's altered world events, intrusions upon the perceived reality. Now, the service weapon is, of course, a prime example of an OOP, a very powerful one. Ingrained in the Bureau's DNA, a key component in our prime candidate program. Come out
you can even hear Alan Wake in his voice.
You're it.
Look at this place. Where am I?
God, I love this game. So we picked up... Alrighty. We're getting our tutorial.
The same gun. Okay, now I have a gun.
And now we have a gun. Oops. And our gun regenerates ammo on its own when not in use. There is no reloading. So ammo conservation is all on us. Taking a minute here to get used to aiming this thing again. Get away, Goop Man! There we go.
Something's coming. This threat. An attack. Duty as director. Keep the Bureau safe.
I know, right?
It's the dead man. Right after the pyramid spoke to me, and it was just noise, and I understood every word. And this gun's alive. You know what? I'm happy. Happy to be here.
And just like that...
Things have quieted down outside.
We have been appointed director of the Federal Bureau of Control. Oh! That's great.
You can't let this happen. You can't let this happen. You can't let this happen. You can't let this happen.
I love this game's use of mixed live action with game models.
You can't let this happen. You stopped it. You... Oh, thank you. That was... horror.
Field summary of Hiss entity, Hiss corrupted data guard. The Bureau has many internal personnel. The Hiss were quick to take advantage of this fact. Hiss guards use the standard bullpup rifles they carried prior to corruption, when the armored guards carried pump-action shotguns. You're right, you just have to pick up a random gun by the corpse. They have no observed natural abilities, with the exception of certain Hiss guards are protected by a shield of dense Hiss resonance, capable of stopping bullets. Is this shielding a result of prolonged corruption? Does the Hiss mature in organic hosts over time? More data is needed. Did the Hiss target individuals with combat training? Does the Hiss have that level of cognizance? Does it utilize hosts for tasks they are best suited to? Combat-trained hosts are reserved for combat? These are all questions for later, though it is obvious corrupted individuals retain knowledge on the use of their weapons. Compiled by Emily Pope on the order of director Jesse Faden. So we kind of read that a little out of order there, but we have a case file here. This is the Service Weapon Object of Power 1-KE. And this is where you're going to start seeing the SCP stuff leak in here. No procedures required. This object's form is variable when bound. This allows para-utilitarians to set redacted. This object may only be bound to individuals by seeking the role of redacted. This object will determine whether redacted. If rejected, the applicant is terminated. The process is dictated by the blank, though their criteria is unknown. This object was discovered inside the oldest house in a room that is now used as the director's office. The popular hypothesis, blank, many forms through history. Blank, Mjolnir, Excalibur, Varanastra, all weapons that blank of their wielders. If objects of power are the convergence of forces based on collective subconscious, then this may be the original manifestation of the event. If this is the case, blank. See Dr. Darling Presentation 11.1 for more details. And then we have...
Objects of power can cause or be results of AWE's altered world events, intrusions upon the perceived reality. A side note, remember to cover their connection to the astral plane as well. Now, the service weapon is, of course, a prime example of an OOP, a very powerful one. Ingrained in the Bureau's DNA, a key component in our prime candidate program. Come out of that Russian roulette a winner and you're it. Lose and you're, well, thank you. I'm Dr. Darling, Head of Research, Federal Bureau of Control.
So, in review, things we've learned. By the way, director, Jesse Faden. All the trench portraits have changed to us. Like I said, the little details in this that I absolutely love to death. Yeah. So, things we know so far. We've come here looking for our brother Dylan. We found this gun. That triangular pyramid called the board forced the gun to our heads, and if we failed its test, they were going to kill us. But we didn't, so now we're the director. Something called the Hiss has apparently overtaken the guards here. And that's all we know. Yeah, no, like I said, it's the little details that you don't notice. Also, by the way, there was an elevator there. That's gone now. Yeah, now the only way we can go is to Executive Affairs at the central office.
The hotline. Secure line of communication. Guide us. Reach the hotline.
So we have our first...
Says the dead man. Okay.
Trench in our head is telling us to reach the hotline. And there's another one of us. And you can hear whispers. We have more Hiss-possessed guards. Where are they? There he is. Alright. So, when people are possessed by the Hiss, this is generally what happens. They're all in unison saying some sort of chant together. Once you're possessed, that's kind of it. You're kind of gone. Let's work hard. His life is in your hands. Everyone's safety depends on you. Is that a stapler or an altered item? Don't take office equipment outside the building. I love these posters. Avoid modern technology by the Synchronicity Research Department. Don't let mold hitch a ride. Perform daily body checks for foreign plant matter. Lumpy. We have a Federal Bureau of Control. Dinner reservations at 7 p.m. at Chez Ombre. Wife will meet you there. Don't be late. Flowers are ready for you at lobby reception. Remember, she's turning 46. More of the same, another picture of us. We've seen all that. Last but not least, we have a shelter of some kind. Occupancy for 5 people. This is an M72 shelter. Protection rating is MIL STD 810-3. See that whatever the Hiss are, this shelter was not enough to save this person. For Marshall's eyes only. Marshall. We've checked out the suspected AWE in Duluth. Wasn't anything. Just like the house fire before this. After the malfunctioning clothes dryer before that. My team is getting pretty sick of duds. We need you to find a way to sort the fake AWEs from the real things. Or, you need to rotate these agents off the field a little bit. Anyway, we're en route to Sherman Ranch. Next one on the list. Let's hope it's lively there. Sincerely, Special Agent Keenum. I wonder if he has a partner named Kel. I love that chest animated opening animation. Also, I'd like to note that Jessie has very quickly acclimated to her new situation, and that's one of the things I love about her as a character, is just how much of this she's like, okay, this is my life now. Because what other choice do you have? Yeah. Boom. Alright, let's keep going.
The hissing sound that tried to invade me earlier. The hiss. Burrowing into everything in this place. Is the hiss your enemy? Alright, it's our enemy. That babble's
Love this
contagious.
messed up
It burrows in
geometry.
like an infuriating melody that makes you hum it over and over.
Okay. Let's oof. Don't waste your shots and watch your flank, because the game will not hesitate to not alive you. Where is he? He's over there. Let's see if we can get the... Oh! That's not going to be the last death. There's an ability that I keep hitting a button on my controller to do that is not happening, and that is killing me. I can't wait to get it back. I said the same thing in Hollow Knight, come to think of it. Do I have to get this chest again? I don't. Okay. Let's not waste most of our bullets on misses on that first go round.
Burrowing into everything.
He drops down.
Is the hiss your enemy?
That guy kind of Wilhelm screamed. He is a problem and needs to go. Ranger second class Polanski. Get dunked on. Oh shit.
Must cleanse control points. An enemy. Corrupt. Spreading.
Cleanse the control point. What does that mean? Help me fix it. Holy shit.
We did it.
We did it.
Hello? Can you hear me? Are you with us?
Someone's calling to us from inside the shelter.
Are you still sane?
But I'm gonna look around. We can see tubes are still going through.
Please, talk to me. We saw you deal with the compromised agents.
Still got some pictures of Trench up.
Is it safe to come out?
Urban legends are believed to affect the creation of altered materials, but can also dictate the characteristics of altered world events. Urban legends are understood as the modern evolution of Jung's archetypes. We recognize certain blank informed by our own blank and popularized by media. We have additionally proven that urban legends can be artificially blank in popular culture using Blank, our Bureau-made anthology television program. I know what that blank is. Once the seeds are sown, human imagination exacerbates the details. Certain paranatural phenomena contain clear events of popularized folklore. AWEs that only occur on blank. A pair of scissors that consume human blank through 2 punctures on the blank. These details, living in the minds of so many, have given strength through belief. Urban legends aren't just stories for children. They're paranatural realities waiting to happen. Yeah, Ty, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. How to handle unscheduled visitors entering the lobby. Start with the following. Welcome to the Federal Bureau of Control, established in 1964 as part of an effort to strengthen government relations. We are proud to serve the United States and her people as we strive for transparency in all aspects of our nation. If they don't leave, ask them these questions. Are you here to see someone? Are you from New York City or just visiting? How'd you find this place? If their answers are sufficiently harmless, explain this is a secure federal office and they need to leave. If their answers seem blank, escort them to a private room. There, perform the gunner's psychological assessment. If their responses are within the acceptable range of deviance, see the provided sheet, then blank immediately. Remember, there's no such thing as too suspicious. Spinning out of control? Yes. Reminder from all staff. Food left in the refrigerator in Containment Break Room 3B has been known to vanish. Plan accordingly. Welcoming some new employees to the oldest house. You, just chanting? Yeah? This is the door we came in from Executive Affairs. We can actually D-pad up at any point to get a nice map of where we are. I think the most unsettling thing about the hiss, turn on some tunes, is occasionally you'll pick out words that they say, and that's kind of the scariest, is when they're all in unison, and for just a brief moment you hear English. But once again, this is not a horror game. I promise you. We have a lovely thing with some patterns and shapes. And a projector of some kind. We can't turn it on though. You know, all the tech here also, as you might have noticed, is very old. Nothing here seems to really have been pioneered since before the 70s. We need containment, we need clearance level 4 to get through, and look at all those sticky notes. Yeah, they could have marketed this as horror. So this is a shortcut we just got. Welcome back, pilot. We just got a shortcut back to the director's office. Hello, as you all should know, the R4 reports are due by the end of the week. We're still waiting on them from a number of people. If you need an extension, please refer to request form R4.E from your supervisor. If you think you're exempt from filing an R4, then you need to get written permission from your department chief. Remember, under section 75.2 of the manual. If your R4 requires internal department claims, please contact the appropriate department head, Mr. Darling, Miss Marshall, Mr. Salvador, or Mr. Kirkland as needed. They'll be busy on Thursday in their annual policy review, so please schedule accordingly. Just business speak. Remember, do as you're told, don't eat the mold. Don't do it. Constantly on the lookout for documents. Sticky note room. Examination of paranatural topics. Technological limitations of the oldest house. The oldest house imposes certain limitations on the Bureau, but by far the most restrictive is the inability to use certain technological instruments. The oldest house does not allow any devices that receive any blank signal. Radio waves are the only transmittable signals in the oldest house. Even those are often unreliable. If the power of collective unconscious is taken into account, it could be that certain pieces of technology are too new in the cultural blank for the oldest house to blank them. Similarly, these items have not been known to become receptacles for altered status. Technology may be moving at too fast a pace for the blank to occur. Modern technology tends to disappear and break, sometimes quite violently. Blank agents have been injured by cell phones exploding in their pocket while entering the oldest house. So that's why you can't bring in anything nice and shiny and chrome. Sorry, pilot, that means you have to leave your fancy smartphone at the door. Yeah. Anybody want anything from vending? We got, I'm gonna tie one with some fruit gummy. We got cracker. Oh, there it was again. Okay, that's creeping me out. Don't read confidential correspondence. It's not just rude, it's illegal. Can't find your office? Watch your step. Yeah, you gotta go get that Nokia. Listen, I know you can't control buildings. The executive level restroom has been missing for weeks now. I worked my ass off in the Islamabad station for 3 years. I've earned the right to a nice workplace shitter. If you can't bring it back, at least figure out where it went. D. Rodriguez. I'd be upset too, bud. I'd be upset too. We got Director Trench meeting with someone. Yeah, poor Rodriguez. Worked his butt off, and now the bathroom's gone. Is there someone in here? No. We can just hear him, though. As far as things I'd want to, like, die to in video games, I think the hiss, while very creepy, is one of the, like, easier ones to mentally cope with the idea of, simply because the moment it gets in you, you're gone. Like, there's nothing left. Ah, you're in here looking for Redacted, eh? And here are all our past directors. We can see Trench all the way up there. Alright, I think that's everything I can sort of hem and haw at in this space before we actually talk to someone and move the plot forward. Just kidding. I found more. What sort of creepy room is this? Is that a jukebox? Don't want to mess with the jukebox. Can we go in? No. The sector elevator. This poor lady who's just vibing. Yeah, me too. Me too. Alright. Let's let these people out.
I can't tell you how happy I am to talk to somebody sane.
The feeling's mutual. Yeah, I'm Pope, Emily Pope, Dr. Darling's assistant.
My turn. Should I lie?
I hope we can learn how to do that.
Jesse Faden. I'm just visiting.
I should have lied.
Oh, shit. You're the new director. Hold on. We're coming out.
Director Faden.
Call me Jesse.
Okay, Jesse. I'm Emily. Look, somehow this hostile force, this
Hiss?
that works. Somehow the hiss managed to infiltrate the building without any warning.
And just like that, my name for it is official. The hiss. Like the sound of poison gas leaking in.
We're in full lockdown. It seems to have spread everywhere and to everyone, not protected by an HRA. And, extraordinarily, you. You are the director, and that makes you special by definition. Trench is no longer the director, obviously.
Oh, Jessie is great.
I'm sorry, I'm talking too much.
Once again, I love how much she just kind of goes with the flow of all this.
Trench is dead. Shot.
Ah.
I found his body. And the gun.
Do I tell her it looked like a suicide?
The service weapon.
Also, and this can sound crazy, but he keeps appearing to me, saying things. It's hard to make out, but he told me to cleanse the control point, push the hiss out. The whole room shifted around.
You did that? And you entered the building when it was already in the lockdown before you became the new director? How?
I'm not ready to tell her about you yet.
A janitor let me in.
I love it. This is fucking unbelievable. I can't even... Look, Jesse, I have a million questions, and you probably have a million more.
Like, do you know my brother Dylan? Not yet.
But there's something I need to ask you to do first. If you can cleanse a control point, then you can maybe cure those infected or possessed by the hiss. Because if that's possible, our options are very different.
Emily Pope. I don't know her, but I like her already. She's the opposite of the faceless agency I've blamed for what happened to me for so long. But I can't trust her yet. Or rather, the Bureau she's a part of.
You mean the Bureau
Yes.
you lead?
I can try.
I'm speaking for you, of course. We can try it together. Okay. You with me?
Or I'm gonna
We
look
did
in
it
here.
before. Push the hiss out.
Alright, let's try and cure someone. We can do this. Well,
It didn't work. The hiss has...
alright, let's learn about some hiss. The hiss manifests in human hosts in numerous ways. The most common and least intense form is seen in many corrupted agents floating through the Bureau. The hiss agents have maintained their human appearance, undergoing no obvious physical transformation. The most notable distinction from an unaffected human is the fact that they levitate. These hiss display no aggressive behavior, they only seem interested in vocalizing the strange incantation ad infinitum. Perhaps these vessels are meant to propagate the hiss, like spores or Wi-Fi boosters. Or are they cocoons? When attacked, they disappear, perhaps entering a state of invisibility, or going into a purely resonant form. Research is ongoing. Refer to file redacted for the full report. We have these lovely conceptual materials. Actually, I can put mods on now. Let's give ourselves some more health. And then increase our reload speed.
Ripping it out rips them apart.
So we can't take it out, unfortunately.
Jesse, over here. We need to make a plan, Jesse.
I can't cleanse them.
I saw. It was worth a shot. Thank you, Director. Jesse.
I'm gonna tell her why I'm here. I'll risk it.
Listen, the Bureau was involved in an incident in my hometown, Ordinary, 17 years ago. The Bureau came in and covered the whole thing up. I've been looking for this place for a long time.
That's enough. Maybe that's too much already. I can't tell her about Dylan and the rest yet.
I've seen mentions of an Altered World event case dealing with Ordinary. You were at Ground Zero as a child? It was one of the big ones, and before my time. And very classified. I can try to dig out some old files for you. My boss, Casper Darling, would know, but he's missing. I think he knew this was coming, or suspected. He came up with the HRAs, the Hadron Resonance Amplifiers. I think they're what saved us. Or a few of us. And Director Trench would know.
Trench, the ghost, or whatever he is, he mentioned something called the Hotline. Said I should find it.
It's another object of power, like the gun, an old Bakelite telephone. A direct line of communication between the director and the board. Maybe he can talk to you more clearly through that. I mean, Trench has years and years of experience. He might know how to destroy the Hiss.
Yeah.
Where is the hotline?
I think you said it great there,
The
Pilot.
communications
Pope
department
is
through the mailroom. It's
definitely
part of
a
the sector,
company
so we can
woman.
access it even with the lockdown in place. We'll get the door open for you.
Okay, that's my next stop.
That's Tomasi's department. He's the head of communications. I don't think he had an HRA. He kind of made a point about not wearing one earlier. Keep an eye out.
Remember, folks, wear your mask to stop the spread of COVID, and wear your HRA to stop the spread of the Hiss.
That's not me. I'm not a director type. I'm not a leader. Why am I here? I think you already know.
Yeah.
Yes, I came for my brother, but there are other reasons too. I said I was looking for answers, but I might never understand them. I'm not looking for proof. This is already it. More than enough.
Hey, there's still hope for you, Pilot. You'll levitate. I believe in you.
It's real now. I didn't imagine this. I want to be a part of this world. What scares me shitless is that I finally found it. Only to see the Hiss destroy it all.
The phone's ringing. That is the true power of friendship.
I know this is all new to you, so don't hesitate to ask me anything you want to know. There are no stupid questions. The door to the comms department.
Well, let's ask some stupid questions.
Communications department.
So what do we know about the origins of the Hiss?
Where did the Hiss come from?
I'm not sure. You said the Hiss was here when you entered. Did you see anything like that outside before you came in?
No. No, just inside.
The source is internal, then. See, the oldest house is a sprawling complex with openings to other places as well. I don't even know where to start looking. But in the context, it's good news. The lockdown holds. The Hiss escaping the building would be the end. Pretty shitty world out there if you ask me, but I wouldn't want the Hiss to destroy it.
With you on that, Emily.
Alright, what about the house?
You mentioned the oldest house. What is it?
This building, the Bureau headquarters, the oldest house, is a shifting place. You've seen it. It transcends its physical limits.
I've been to New York a few times. How didn't I notice this place?
It's an attribute of the building. This is a place of power. The oldest house doesn't like attention, so unless you're purposely trying to find it, you don't, which is perfect for us. The work we do here is essential, but unstable. The Bureau prefers not to be noticed. And we need strong walls to make sure nothing gets out.
So without you, I never would have found the front door.
Hey, you're welcome.
Okay.
Well, what about Director Trench?
This Trench guy. I keep hearing him in my head. Is he a ghost? Haunting me?
I doubt we're talking about a ghost in the traditional sense, but an echo maybe. See, if he was killed by the service weapon, your gun, maybe it's his final thoughts recorded by the bullet in his brain, like a deep space probe sending back data. But that's just a hypothesis on my part. I'd need the gun to research it. But you better hold on to that given the circumstances.
I think I will. Yeah.
What about objects of power, or OOPS, as they call them?
Can you tell me what an object of power is exactly? This is all, well, new to me.
Don't worry, I love going over the basics. So objects of power are mundane objects that house paranatural energies and have developed a link to the astral plane and can thus be controlled, which is what differentiates them from altered items, which are still housings of paranatural forces, but are more volatile and cannot be bound in the peri-utilitarian sense. Got it?
Did she memorize this?
I love Agent Pope.
Got it. Thanks.
And what about the HREs?
So HRAs stop you from becoming Hiss.
Well, it seems that way. I mean, I hadn't even heard of an HRA until a few weeks ago when Dr. Darling started handing them out. Well, I began analyzing mine as soon as I got it. I mean, each one seems to emit a powerful short-range frequency way beyond anything I've ever seen.
Doesn't the timing seem suspicious?
I thought that too. Dr. Darling usually likes to unveil his latest breakthrough in big presentations. With these, he just passed them out. Yeah, his behavior makes me wonder what exactly he knew.
All right.
Thanks, Emily.
Thanks,
sure I'll
Emily.
have more questions soon.
Just let me know.
So we need to get to the hotline. Drake is calling us on his cell phone. We have outfits now. We have the Astral Dive suit, which I really like that. But I like Classic Jesse. We'll get more outfits as the game goes on. And let's get to it.
There it is again. A welcome message.
The hotline still blings. Yep, you do see me. Okay. Let's get to work. So yeah, the combat, I wouldn't call it simple, but it starts out easy to, I guess, comprehend. Oh. I hear enemies. Okay. I'm going to trust the game that there's no enemies around here right now, so I can look at this stuff. Travel costs. Summary: the following Nevada accommodations: Desert Summer Inn, Big Sky Motel, Starlight Motel, In and Out, Aztec Court, Sleepy Bear Motel, that's my favorite one, Silver Spurs Ranch, El Gato Blanco Inn, and A Plus Lodge. $831 in accommodations, $714 in meals, $294 in gas, and $313 in the minibar. I do wonder if a motel called the Ocean View is going to be found in a landlocked state. But hey, I guess I'm not paid to think, right? And I again request you give us the budget to get 2 rooms each night. Agent Rowley and myself are very tired of sleeping in the same room. See you on the road, Agent Hines. The boys in research said performing rituals may help identify any places of power. Drinking those little whiskeys is my ritual. Rock on, dude. Get new stuff. Also, let's get rid of the mods we don't want to use. This game does have a crafting system. And we have a portrait of Trench. This is the way we came from. We can't go that way. That hurts us. I want to keep my health. Trust me on this. That hurts. More hiss. I hear enemies. So let's do some exploring while we're down here. We have another shelter, and this is our first appearance of the mold. The mold will kill us. We will see more of this around in the house later. What else do we have here? We have the Havana AWE. An auditory event occurred at the United States Embassy in Havana, injuring the majority of the diplomatic staff stationed there. Blank deaths were reported, and the outgoing information has been managed. Bureau agents arrived at the embassy the same day as the event was reported through federal channels, but were too late to witness the AWE, which was reported to have been blank. Staff experienced sudden intense vibrations and noise, accompanied by intense pressures in the ear. This lasted for blank minutes. No visual phenomena was witnessed. The scene was cordoned off, and the embassy staff were transported to the continental U.S. After Formula I-9 was recited in the vicinity, a single cowboy boot began to vibrate, identifying it as the altered item. They found one of Tyson's boots. This item was contained and brought to the Bureau for examination. See case file AI5 for details. Yeehaw. And then we learned that the Hiss resonance field is a physical impedant that is difficult to define. Hiss barriers appear as 2 ways to impede access or access by Bureau personnel. 2 methods have been discovered for lowering them. 1. Destroy the multiple enemies in the area, or 2. Destroy the Hiss entities in the area. The resonance fields seem to require support for their size and density for other non-connected sources of Hiss resonance. Without the ability to draw, the barrier will fall. Does an inactive structure made of Hiss qualify as a conscious being? Does the distinction make any difference when considering the Hiss? What does the very act of building walls to prevent our movement tell us about the Hiss? To what degree is it watching and planning? Yeah, all my homies hate the mold. And remember, don't eat it. Don't eat the mold pilot. Sounds like a good idea, but don't do it. You won't levitate. Please be aware, due to recent fluctuations in the nearest control point, this area's stability has been downgraded to yellow. Reference chart. Green, stable. Yellow, low possibility of unanticipated building shifts. Orange, high likelihood. Red, you're in for a ride. Oh, and I can zoom those in. I will start doing that so y'all can see better. Thank you, Pilot. I appreciate you not eating the mold. Okay. Already went up there. There was nothing. Imagine me slowly bringing the mold closer to my face until you say I won't levitate. No. Aww. Alright, let's keep on keeping on. Welcome to Dead Letters. Did I mention I really love the way this plays? Stop being shielded, Baka. Alright. Oh, we got more. Oh. I forgot about the grenades. It's not like I want to fight you or anything. There we go. Boring office. We have to navigate through the communications department. And we can't go in room 2. But we can fast travel now. Alright, so if you're Ty, look away. He knows what's coming up. It's not that. It's not that yet.
80 kilobytes. Stolen by our friends at the CIA, the disk held the launch codes to Soviet nukes. This is not the disk, of course, but one exactly like it. A perfect fusion of concepts vibrating in the Cold War era collective unconscious. A receptacle. It is a receptacle for dangerous energies to hone in on. And they did. We don't have the details, but when things started flying around the disk, it was transferred to us. It's an object of power. Oh, okay. Oops. Oh, and it can launch things telekinetically through the air. To date, we've launched maybe 3 dozen pencils. And once, we even launched a cup.
He's so proud of himself. Oh, Darling is a dork, and I am here for it. Let me just tick off that we've seen it. Pilot, you might have idly heard Ty and I talk about a collectible in this game that is a wee bit spooky. So this is the Dead Letters department, by the way, so anything that comes here, mail-wise, that people have said, like, man, you need to look into this thing, but it wasn't really paranormal, that stops here. So for example, I had a dream, and I built the thing I saw in my dream. A machine that will contain God, but not the God you know, or the ones anyone knows, a new God. This machine will be his body, his heart, his mind. I made it just like the dream showed me. I used the motor from my refrigerator, and the coils from my toaster, and the fans plus the timing belt from my car's engine, and the wheels from my son's skateboard. God can't move yet, but the dream said he would learn on his own. This is just a beginner's body, like a baby's, but a machine instead. God only needs a place to start. If you want to interview me, please contact me at the address on the envelope. My phone doesn't work anymore. I had to use the dialing plate on God. And this goes back to Central Executive. We came in here. And outside of that door, which we can't go in yet, that's it for this room. You can see a map. I mean, we have a map. Yeah, we stand Dr. Darling. He's the best. Anything? Nope. We have a blood trail that goes down this way. Huh! Get wrecked. We have a hiss barrier. Oh, that poor guy. He just got hozzed. Anytime somebody in a video game dies in a slightly comedic fashion, that's getting hozzed. Book Club, Samson. Book Club Notes for Penny by L. Sampson. I don't usually read a lot of sci-fi, but as far as space operas go, this was alright. The title Unless You could refer to a bunch of things in the book, I guess. But I thought it a little vague and stupid. The way the characters kept throwing it and almost sound like a catchphrase got real annoying real fast. The best part of the story was the space battles. I sided with the Fixers, obviously, because they had the coolest tech and their motives made the most sense to me. Honestly, if I had to choose between a bunch of some hoity-toity flowers and guns space hippies, or a badass bunch of warriors who go around devouring planets like cheap sushi on Sunday, I know who I'm picking. That scene where they invade the city planet and convert the entire population using those brainworms, and the space dogfight between those two ace pilots, sign me the fuck up. What kind of ruined the whole thing for me was when my favorite character got killed, not even halfway through the story, by getting a battery cylinder launched into his face by a gravitational anomaly. His death didn't feel necessary at all. I hope this guy wrote that report. I really hope this guy wrote that report. I'm sorry. But the irony. I never thought of it that way until now. Let's do some exploring. Well, I guess that's it for the exploring. Internet usage rules. Internet is not for social media use. No FBC materials of any kind may be scanned or uploaded. FBC email addresses are for work-related things only. Level 5 clearance required for the internet. If a cubicle's BlackRock shell gets damaged, vacate it immediately and alert Mr. Tomasi. If you notice any text that you don't require writing, vacate your cubicle immediately and alert Mr. Tomasi. Do not contact internal comm devices to the network, and the printer is for communications department use only. Altered items are forbidden in the cubicles, and notify security of any breaches immediately. They may require internal lockdown. Alright. Let's see what God has.
Object of power. Looks like the hiss have latched onto it. We need to cleanse it.
Okay. So now we can crouch to take cover. Which is probably for the best, because something over there is throwing shit at us. As there is an object of power gone haywire in this room. And we can see it over there. You gotta move all careful like to not get hozzed. Calm down, Haas. I gotta stop using Haas and everything. I really do.
It's harder to hear you when I'm here. It's like the channel's been changed.
Haas, bro.
The board's in charge here. They're pyramids in the Bureau seal. Are they really the ones pulling the strings? I'm not their director. I'm no one's director.
So now, I can do this. So basically, when you bind yourself to an object of power, you gain its skill. So by binding to the floppy disk, we can do this. Crouch. Also, makes a really satisfying noise when you pick shit up.
There you are. You were gone.
Floppy disk must be contained in a cell with nothing else. The object is an 8-inch diskette containing Soviet launch codes. When bound, this allows para-utilitarians to telekinetically lift and throw things for a short distance. It is currently bound to Redacted for research purposes. Stolen from a Soviet military base located in Redacted by agents Redacted and Redacted within the CIA. The diskette contained the launch codes to blank missiles, believed to be reserved for use against blank. After being returned to America, the diskette began throwing computational hardware at members of the decoding team. Any informant in the CIA tipped the Bureau off, and it was still taken the next day.
Cut off. I got it.
So, there is no shortage of shit here in the Bureau. And now, we can weaponize it. We got 2 new documents. HISS demolitions expert. The Bureau only allows certain highly trained individuals to handle volatile materials and weaponry. Our demolitions experts are instructed in the use of explosives in dimensions with the use of distinct physical laws. He would try to do something else or redefine being housed. HISS demolitions experts are the only HISS observed to wield specially built rocket-propelled grenade that is designed to identify and track blank entities once fired. And then we have the Ranger, who is just a stronger dude.
Emily said that the hotline can be reached through the mailroom.
Re-information campaign summary of the Willow AWE. National news sites have begun publishing the story of the polar bear attack on the Alaskan town. You all know I don't like to boast, but claiming the family was killed by migrating polar bears desperate for food because their ecosystem is being ruined by global warming was a stroke of genius. Using current ecological concerns to make the public less likely to blank. So, another AWE behind us, and the public is none the wiser. Well done, everyone. It was a strong campaign, and perfectly executed. This doesn't mean we can stop monitoring the blank and blank for any off-message opinions, but it's looking like we're in the clear. Tomasi out. Oh. There we go. I'm listening for the noise of dudes spawning in behind me. Can't go in there.
Locked. Maybe there's a key nearby. This must open the door.
Yeah. And we got a new control point. Now I can tell you, I think that one was added because there's a boss fight coming up. It's dark in here. Let's keep exploring though. Got a radio. And a house memory. We have an audio.
You're listening to America Overnight, mystifying the airwaves for more than 29 years. Thank you for staying up with us. Ghosts. We've had many callers over the years tell us of hauntings, voices, and other phantasmagorical phenomena. Today, friend of the show, Dr. Quincy Reagan, tells his story. Quincy, thanks. This is something I experienced recently while staying at the Chili Pines Motel in Macon for last year's SuspiciaCon. I was in room 47. The night manager, an avid listener to the program, insisted I take this particular room. Now, the manager explained that years back, the body was discovered inside that wooden border that motel beds tend to have. The body had been there a week, he said. Guests had stayed there, sleeping with the corpse a foot below them. They only found the body when housekeepers complained about the smell. Hauntings have been reported in room 47 ever since. I happily took the room. I fell asleep pretty quick, checking under the bed first, of course. No ghosts visited me, no chilly spots or flickering lights. But when I woke up, I found myself under the bed. It was dark and stiflingly hot. Luckily, I was able to push the mattress off and crawl out before I suffocated. The night manager was kind enough to find me another room. There you have it, listeners. What we call ghosts take many forms. Quincy was brave enough to tell his story. And I encourage you to keep calling and writing if you encounter something strange. Something you can't explain. Maybe you're seeing colors that we have no name for. Maybe your toaster is possessed. Remember, dear listeners, when no one else believes you, we do.
Hey, thanks, radio host. It's a little detail. Once again, I keep saying there's little details I like. If there's nothing around, Jesse will pull, like, material out of the ground to, chuck. Oh. Oh no. Okay. Some load and get the hell out. Combat room solved. So earlier when they were talking about supervised internet access, yeah, I do agree with you, Ty, that I wish this could have been on any of our lists. Last month, our on-site server discovered a data breach by unauthorized users. After a thorough investigation, it was confirmed that the users only accessed a video file which contains portions of various Dr. Darling presentations. Investigators were able to track the users down. The following are confirmed: Patrick Struzans, Rubens Noguera, Arto Kolmaki, Christopher Mills Bowling, and Yako Sarian. These individuals are in breach of Bureau Code 91 and have been placed under surveillance. Then we have the Americanite program. Network disconnected. Pay attention, Alberto. This is the last time I'm explaining this. Internal lockdowns are manually triggered events that lock one or all of the sectors by restricting use of the sector elevator, effectively locking staff in their sector until the emergency is handled. This can only be lifted via directorial override in maintenance once the director is satisfied that the situation is under control. External lockdowns are a bigger deal. Nothing in, nothing out. It's only triggered by a code red containment breach, based on some of the complicated systems that security and research slap together. It can be only lifted once A, the threat has been neutralized, and B, a high-clearance individual gives the system the all-clear. The process is not the same of the directorial override, so stop saying it in documentation. I know it's confusing as hell. I've told Darling 100 times to change it, but they're adamant it stays that way. Honestly, I don't think they know how to change it at this point. Let's just make sure the staff understands how it works. We're learning so much. Also, mold room. All my homies hate the mold room. Okay. I forget if we save by hitting this point. But let's do that. And then we'll go in here. Who knows what could be in here? It's a boss fight, that's what. Oh god. I remember when I first picked up this game, this boss fight with Dr. Tomasi, sorry, Mr. Tomasi, infuriated me to no end. Where is he? There he is. He's over there. Get him. Got him! And he's off.
Let's stay focused. The hotline should be past the mailroom.
But Jesse has a feeling he'll be back. And actually, I don't think I took a single hit during that. The key is just to not be hyper-aggressive, honestly. I know I say that with like 90% of the things I play, is just don't be aggressive. Tea time! Hey Malcolm, tea time is at 7. I'll see you on the course Sunday morning. Have you heard of the Tennyson report? Apparently there's a bunch of copies drifting around the office. Trench is looking to get his hands on any information about who wrote it. You wouldn't happen to have heard anything about that, would you? See you Sunday, Jim. And then Hiss elevated. These are the elevated agents who display abilities similar to telekinetic competencies observed in Bureau para-utilitarians. Some prefer to change their targets while others launch objects at them. Telekinetic abilities have been ineffective against the Hiss due to their own talent in the area. They don't use weaponry except their own capabilities. Some have been seen levitating while strapped to chairs. This is likely the result of individuals being corrupted while undergoing cognitive recording in parapsychology. How are they able to use paranatural abilities? Is it possible that these individuals were bound to objects of power prior to corruption? It's also worth considering that the Hiss resonance can identify and express latent paranatural energy and ability in the individuals it corrupts. Refer to file blank for the full report. And the funny thing is, if you look at all these that we are finding here and now, they're all by Emily under our own orders. So there's time shenanigans happening. But we called them the Hiss, so they were always the Hiss. And I've been over here already. Let's go in this big old room that Tomasi fled off in. Oh.
Alberto Tomasi, head of comms.
Well done, everyone. It was a strong campaign and perfectly executed. Alberto Tomasi.
The Hiss got him.
Alright, take this down. The situation in Cuba has been evaluated by the relevant authorities. The mysterious illness affecting the staff at the U.S. Embassy in Havana was caused by sonic weaponry in the hands of a foreign power. Numerous personnel have damage to the inner ear, but most are expected to make a full recovery. Of course, the event also damaged their cellular walls, but we can't blame that on some stupid noise gun. Thank God no local doctors examine them first. Honestly, the odds an altered item would show up inside a U.S. embassy. Talk about good luck, huh? So much easier to... Hey, are you still recording this?
So Tomasi was an asshole. Butte, AWE 17. A spate of disappearances was traced to a home in the city of Butte, where Bureau agents discovered a translocative light switch cord. Bureau agents arrived at the home of a local celebrity, located at blank blank, which had been connected to a total of blank disappearances in the area. Agents found no one inside. While searching a closet, an agent pulled the light switch cord and disappeared from view. Another agent was selected to pull the cord in order to replicate the event. He disappeared as well. Both agents were rediscovered at the oldest house, blank days later, found in a sealed room by rangers exploring a new area. The light switch cord in the Butte home's closet disappeared during the incident. Let me add that Tomasi recording. Always look for the lore.
The hotline can't be far now.
We've almost found it. Hotline bling. In fact, we can hear it. More paintings of Brokeback Mountain. The hotline chamber. Director use only. Disregard this policy, and you may endure fatal psychic trauma. Hotline security guard. Director Trench, Bill Everett. So it's just been us and another janitor, or it's just been Director Trench and another janitor by the name of Bill Everett, who is not Ahti, because Ahti is Ahti. I love this ominous hallway.
The Ocean View Motel and Casino. Dream logic. The light switch cord. Door marked with the Black Pyramid.
Notice, Ocean View Motel and Casino entry point. The law of 3 applies. Stand here. Alright. 1, 2,
Whoa.
3.
Have we been here before? No. I've stayed at a lot of roadside motels across the country, on the road, on the run, under the radar. This feels like all of them, like something recognized from a dream.
So we know we're looking for a door with a black pyramid. But we don't have the key. God, I love this game so much. We can't leave.
Hello?
2,
Anyone here?
3.
Key has a black pyramid on it.
See, now I remembered that the rule of 3 applies, so I kind of very quickly decimated that puzzle. But we can see that hitting the button opens different doors. And then this one. All the same rooms. Alright. Huh. Now we look at that painting, we can see a bridge. 1, 2, 3. If that doesn't get you, I don't know what will. Oh. We have an astral plane challenge. Now you may be wondering, what are those? The answer is, they are a bad time. They're a bad time, and we don't want to go near them. Bad time. Yeah, they are Anki. They are definitely Anki.
It is a phone. It's an object of power. It doesn't connect to any typical network. A direct line to the astral plane and the board. And my hypothesis is, under the right conditions, to other planes of existence as well.
A director needs a team. My management team. These people know the secrets of the Bureau as well as I do. Some even better. Darling, Tomasi, Salvador, Marshall. Marshall especially, my head of operations. She sees right through me. She knows I don't like relying on people. The only person you should fail is yourself. But things change when you become direct.
I have it. The hotline. I can reach Trench. Well, listen to him. He feels more like an echo. An echo with important info. I need to get back to Emily.
Yep.
People react strongly when I tell them about you. Is it too soon to tell Emily? She might be able to help.
There's a shortcut over there. But there's also a thing right here. Butte, AWE 17. According to their testimony, the agents had transported from the Butte home to a roadside motel named the Ocean View Motel and Casino, and discovered a room key by performing a ritual. See file MOT-01. The key opened a door marked with an inverted black pyramid, which they only learned after a lengthy period of trial and error. After pulling another motel cord found inside the room, they were transported to the oldest house. The disappearances of the home's owner and the locals have been attributed to the light switch cord. The Ocean View Motel is now known to have many doors and pathways. The hotel has many pathways, Ed boy. Since the occurrence, the identical light switch cords to the one found in the Butte home have begun appearing through the house. At the time of this writing, blank light cords have been found located in blank and blank sectors. These all access the Ocean View Hotel, though how exactly this link operates is unknown. but initial hypothesis centers on the Butte AWE as a blank blank. See Darling presentation for more details. So, the containment of the phone object should be inaccessible for use except to the director. Object is a 1960s-era red bakelite telephone. The rotary dial has been replaced with a black knob of unknown purpose. The phone weighs blank. This object allows the director to communicate with the blank. If used by anyone other than the director, the object will cause lethal blank. See Darling's presentation. The object is currently bound to Director Trench. This was spontaneously manifested in the director's office and placed on the desk. Director Northmore was the first Bureau agent to use it. A battery of tests were run on the object, including blank and blank, but its origin remains unknown. And then we have hotline calls. We have several. In fact, we've heard management team, which he just spoke to us about. And the rest of these are ones that we've partially heard because we didn't have it yet. So let's hear a few of them.
It took us a long time to learn how to stabilize the control points, the ley lines, the meridians of the oldest house. Darling found a way to soothe this beast. We discovered we must cleanse control points of all interference. It's my duty as the director, like Northmore before me. I couldn't manage it in my own house, at my home. I'll damn well do it here. Without the control points, the oldest house would swallow us alive. We'd be sealed inside an endless labyrinth, and no one would hear our screams. If an enemy ever managed to corrupt the control points, it'd be over fast, spreading like a cancer, leaping over the fire breaks like a crown of fire. They are the weak point. Darling was right about that. He's wrong about everything else. Dangerously wrong. Suspiciously wrong. Has he been compromised?
We have learned about the hotline itself.
I can hear the hotline ringing in my dreams, constantly ringing. Ringing so loud I can't hear the voice I'm straining to understand. Why don't I pick up? It's a secure line of communication with the board. They would tell me what I need to know. Do I fear their answers? Would they have warned me of this threat? I didn't see it coming. The traitor in our midst. A conspiracy plotted right behind me. I can't trust anyone. I must assume all my intel has been manipulated. The hotline is the only channel I can trust. Bind it, control it. The rule and the ritual with objects of power. It can't be tampered with. The lifeline to the astral plane and the board. I must seek guidance. Soon. I'll rest first. I'm so tired. Always tired now. But I must reach the hotline. I think I'm under attack. An attack of dementia, exhaustion. It's a brain cloud making me forget.
Yeah, no, this just sounds like Max Payne.
Reach the hotline.
We have the Ocean View Motel.
The Ocean View Motel and Casino is a familiar friend to me. I stayed in countless motels like it while investigating AWEs across the country, back in my field agent days. Those roadside motels all bleed together like a dream. Same and not the same. Anywhere and nowhere. The Ocean View operates on dream logic, and the light switch cord leaks out to be found in the most unexpected places, and sometimes successfully encouraged to appear and act as a convenient lock to keep out those not trained in dreamscape navigation. Even Bureau veterans can only find one key in the motel. The key that opens the door marked with the inverted black pyramid. The rest, the many other doors, are still mysteries to us. We're all merely guests there. Even the board. Sometimes I need to visit, just to breathe easier for a while. It beats the numb, sterile apartment I spend my nights in, insulated from everything but myself. I guess that's where the whiskey comes in.
We have the coming storm.
Something's coming. The whispers growing louder. The worst winter storm in Bureau history. Retribution for my sins. Our sins. This threat could destroy the Bureau. Everything I've built. Destroy me. A web spun, turning this place against me. I catch glimpses of it in the corner of my eye. It's just out of reach. Elusive. It's clever. A perverse game of hide and seek. Is this part of an attack? Obfuscating the facts. Dimming my eyes. It's hard to tell. I need answers. I haven't heard back from Darling. I fear for my friend, my closest ally. I think we made a terrible mistake all those years ago. That thing he studies is putting us all in danger. It's my duty as director to keep the Bureau safe. It'll be difficult. What's done can't be undone. There's no easy fix. Magical thinking is a requirement for survival. Pain and suffering are mandatory. To change things, you have to break yourself. I don't know if I have the strength. I'm old and weak. I'm afraid. I can see my hands trembling. I'm losing control.
Hey, he said it. He said it. Roll credits. Alright. And then last but not least, we have another funky Darling presentation about the hotline.
Ring, ring. It's Dr. Darling calling. In 1978, a comms department intern heard the hotline ring and picked it up, going against every safety protocol in the manual. She never recovered, and the handful of witnesses required extensive memory repression therapy. It is a phone. It's an object of power. It doesn't connect to any typical network. A direct line to the astral plane and the board. And my hypothesis is, under the right conditions, to other planes of existence as well. Our very own Ouija board. Only the director can answer it safely, and what he hears is kept classified.
Thanks, Dr. Darling. Oh. I want like a whole YouTube series in which Dr. Darling explains concepts. Surprise, we're back in our office. And there's a new paper on our desk. To all executive staff, I know there's some concern regarding our operations exceeding the annual budget. So as long as we operate within the oldest house, we are obscured from scrutiny in many respects. If our budget exams are not exorbitant to the point of drawing attention, they will be granted by the Treasury without question. The FBC is just another in-line in another spreadsheet that has some lowly accountant won't even notice. Their eyes will skip over us, as if we weren't there. The nature of the oldest house allows us certain freedoms in how we operate. Our being here is no accident. Regards, Zachariah Trench, Director, the Federal Bureau of Control. Can just completely mess my office up. Go crazy. Go nuts. Actually, now that we have clearance level 1, let's go in here. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Potts, I regret to inform you that your son, Graham Potts, was killed in active duty. While the details surrounding his death are classified, I'm honored to tell you that he died in the service of his country. You can be proud of his courage in the face of danger and his commitment to protecting our nation against her enemies. He'll be remembered by his comrades and colleagues. I sincerely hope this message will bring you. Take some solace in knowing that his sacrifice helped protect the country that he loved so much. His effects will be returned to you with speed. Nice. Boop. Wee. We're slowly starting to build up a presence over here.
Jesse, did you get the hotline? I mean, how is it out there? The comms, the hiss? Sorry, you made it. I'm glad.
I got the hotline. I can make out what Trench is saying now.
Incredible. What did he say?
He talked about his management team. People who knew the Bureau's secrets. Your boss, Darling. Tomasi, but he's gone. He's gone. Salvador?
He's the head of security.
And Marshall?
Helen Marshall is head of operations. She's tough, ex-CIA. She took her Rangers and went to the research sector to secure the HRA production. She hasn't come back.
Someone who could help us. The other sectors. How do I get there?
It's impossible because of the internal lockdown. You can perform a directorial override to lift it, but that can only be done in the maintenance sector. Normally, you take the sector elevator down there. It connects all the sectors, but it won't work while the lockdown is in effect.
We already got past one lockdown. Maybe I can find a way.
Jesse, look, with no prep, no training, in this extreme situation, you are doing phenomenally well. And all that and the hiss can't seem to affect you. I mean, I would love to run some tests on you. If you agree, that is. We could find out something that would help us.
Tests? I don't know. She might find out about you. But I wouldn't mind understanding more myself. Okay. If you think it will help.
Great. I'll check the internal documentation for any lockdown bypasses. We need to get these sectors open to locate Darling and Marshall.
And I'll look for a way inside the maintenance sector. The sooner we find one, the sooner I reach this override.
And another little video. I love these because it's almost like a TV show. You get a preview of the next episode. Alright. So.
Do you hear that? Someone's singing. Where's it coming from?
Singing. Sounds like it's coming from the elevator.
Incantation, she calls it.
You mean like in person?
In person, with a pencil and paper. I think she's trying to get us killed.
Let's level up. I would like to upgrade launch, please. Actually, let's put a little bit in everything. Yeah, I'll put a little bit in everything. So now we can start crafting. We can make shatter, which is basically a shotgun. Let's level up. And they're singing.
Time to work. Meet me in the maintenance.
Okay. So that's forward. But I think this is a good point to call it. I think tackling this one arc at a time will be best not only for VOD, but for later as well. So I hope y'all like Control, because we're going to be in this for the long haul. And thank you all for tuning in, and I hope that you learned a bit of why I love this game so much, and I hope we'll continue to share it with each other. Y'all have a good night. And hey, last night of the cheat